want to be the fair. I don't know why, but I just got like a burst of energy.
Good. I like that. Did you hear? Speaking of that song, though, did you hear the farewell he sang?
No.
You know the guy who sang that song.
Yeah.
I wanna be.
Yeah.
So like, okay. So some real quick context for this guy. First of all, like, obviously one hit wonder. That's his claim to fame. That's all that guy's ever done, right? That dude definitely milks it. Like, he milks the shit out of the fact that he's the Pokemon guy, right?
Yeah.
But this is like the one time I'll give him a pass on milking it because it was actually kind of emotional. But like he sings a version of that song that's like changed to being like a farewell.
Oh.
And it's like somber, like power ballady instead of like it's more like I was the very best. It's like very like
it's all just past tense.
Basically. Basically just changed everything to past tense and got me all teared up and emotional. But no, that exists.
Was it for because Ash is no longer the main character?
That's why he did it.
Oh, okay.
It was as a farewell to the series.
But was it used in the?
I don't know. I saw it on social media.
Oh, okay.
But it was him.
Yeah.
But this is what I mean. He milks it, right?
Yeah.
So even if it wasn't officially for Pokemon, that guy was gonna do that song.
Yeah.
And he was gonna release it.
Yeah,
he was gonna try and keep surfing on this fame, right? Regardless. Yeah. But it was actually kind of well done.
Oh, that's too funny.
Your Pokemon hat made me think of that.
Yeah, Pokemon. Cause I wanna be.
Are we ready to do this?
Yes, we are ready.
Okay.
Let's do the snap.
Snappity snap.
Snappity snap.
Don't look back.
And welcome back to Anime Shmanime, where apparently Pokemon is no longer a thing.
Well, as we knew it.
As we knew it, yeah. I mean,
it's gone.
Yeah, like I mean,
we're also late to this, guys. We know.
Yeah, we know we're late.
It's
like
been
this
weeks.
is a while ago.
Yeah, but still,
it just happens that I wore my Pokemon hat today for no reason. I just saw it on the hanger and I was like, "Hey,
I'm gonna wear that.
Yeah, I haven't worn this in ages."
Respect. But also something that's seemingly gone forever.
Yes,
is Jordy.
So yes.
We're just kidding.
We're just kidding. So yes, Jordy is gone again. Don't worry about it. He's gonna come back.
Yes,
it's fine. He's
literally
fine.
What next episode?
And either next episode or like whatever.
Yeah,
we don't know. Who cares?
He's either coming back soon or he just came back.
Yeah, all depends on when I decide to release this episode.
It depends when this episode comes out. But we assure you, he's back soon. We'll be back to covering shows. Hopefully, week by week. Kind of our usual programming.
Yeah, our usual programming, because I know that's why you guys come here.
Yeah.
But we do like doing these things because I'm actually really excited for this one because
we haven't done a tier list in a while.
We haven't done a tier list in a while.
What was our last tier list? Villains?
Yes. Yes, it was villains. It was villains. Like the worst villains. And like out of all of them, the only one I would actually murder was Kisaki.
You got mad about that. Yeah. Meanwhile, we got like Bone Druid from fucking Made in Abyss on this list, but this guy's most pissed off at Kisaki from Tokyo Revengers. Mikey. You kill me, dude.
That guy can fuck right off. You know what? Like I said, man, you know what it is? It's just that if you're an honest villain, I can handle it.
Sure.
Right? You can do all the most fucked up things in the world. And if you're an honest villain, okay, it makes sense. But when you're a deceitful villain and not honest about it,
if you're a snake.
You're a snake?
Well,
when you're just
Orochimaru
greasy.
gets a pass.
Yeah, but he's like a literal snake.
Exactly. Yeah, right? We draw distinctions on Anime Shmanime, guys, all right? We don't like figurative snakes, but we love real snakes.
We love real snakes because they like to slither.
Oh my God, guys. That absolutely destroyed me. He's a literal snake.
He's a literal snake.
Yes, but we're not doing villains.
No.
We're going to do another thing that I think is really fun to discuss. And I haven't seen discussed a lot. I'm probably wrong on that. There's probably 1,000 discussions out there. But
oh, yeah.
We're going to talk weapons.
Yes, this is based off of our personal favorite weapons.
Well, I wouldn't say favorites. I didn't pick
no.
all of my favorites.
That's true.
I picked some that I thought would be good to talk about.
Yeah, so we picked 8 each, and I guess we could say our personal preferences or picks.
We picked 16 total because we're not doing a versus.
No.
Normally we do like versus matchups. You know, we pit things head to head. We did that for husbandos, waifus, just recently side characters.
Yes, the side character showdown.
Yeah.
That one was fun.
And then we did a couples one, didn't we, for Valentine's Day?
Yes, we did. We did do that.
Yeah.
And most toxic couples.
The most toxic couples as well. That's right. Yeah.
That's usually our go-to.
We like putting things head to head, but I think for this one, it's just going to get messy if we're arguing which sword beats another sword from a different anime in a different universe with a different set of rules, like, and different levels of magic. Like, it just wouldn't work. I think we'd be arguing our fucking selves in circles.
Not to mention, like, this is also really hard to just pick 8, considering, like...
There's a lot.
There's a lot. Like, I mean, if you're watching this on YouTube, I literally have an armory behind me.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
It's Mikey's, but it's behind me as well.
Right? I love weapons, so, like...
Yeah, they're everywhere in here.
You're right, like, I think
Mikey
they're so
just had to
cool.
look at his walls to pick his list. Really? But no, and guys, just so you know, we're keeping it to melee weapons.
Yes.
All right. This does
Swords and melee
weapons. And this does not include. So this does not include guns. This does not include fucking laser cannons. And this also doesn't include
magical staffs.
Well, if you hit things with the staff, it could work.
Okay. Yeah, I guess. Okay. Semantics.
Hey. I'm just saying, but we're just gonna keep it at that. I think just for simplicity's sake. But we also didn't want to get into things like pilotable weapons because you could definitely argue that a Gundam is a weapon.
Oh, dude!
That you happen to pilot and just sit inside.
Yeah.
But otherwise, it's a weapon. Not gonna make the list here, guys. We're talking about handheld melee weapons,
like things you would beat someone with,
yes,
or cut, or slice, or stab, or poke
while holding it.
Yeah.
Hence the melee.
Yeah.
Yes.
So because like we've got to do a Gundam or a mech episode eventually.
Yeah.
That's gonna be intense because we're both really into that one too.
But that's another one that we'll have to do tier list because it's not going to be fair to put. You know,
like
a fucking RX-78 up against the Gurren Lagann final boss fucking version. You know what I mean? Like things bigger than a galaxy.
Like literally.
But yeah. So, anyways, weapons, melee weapons, and we're just gonna kind of see where they fall: S, A, B, C, or D.
Yeah.
I feel like we're probably gonna be kind of stacked in S. But that's kind of just how anime does things. They usually don't fuck around with weapons. I found. Most of my research was leading me towards weapons just all being very powerful in their own way. It was hard to find things that I would slot into those lower tiers. Yeah, it was difficult.
The big argument that you and I had off screen was that like there's certain weapons that are good, but like it's also because of the wielder.
100%.
Right? Like the wielder is what's bringing out the whole like like potential of the weapon.
Totally. And we're not going to not talk about that or include those things, but I think we agreed that you can't give S tier to a weapon that is that dependent on its wielder.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like we want to think about things like if it's S tier, that means that like I could pick it up.
Yeah.
And be OP with it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that's kind of the idea
S-tier.
we're talking about. That's where the weapon itself is that strong, right? But like, you know, we all obviously know if fucking Geto from Jujutsu Kaisen, my fucking boyfriend, as everybody knows, if he were to pick up, you know, a weapon, it's he could pick up a fucking toothpick and be deadly with it as opposed to me, right?
Yes.
Doesn't mean that toothpick is S tier.
No.
If it's in Geto's
unless
hands.
it's a magical toothpick. It's a cursed toothpick.
Well, on the topic of magical items, let's fucking get into this. Actually, I want to pick the one we're starting off on.
Yeah, I will let you pick all of them.
And the reason I'm qualifying that is because this isn't one that I picked. This is one that I want to hear you explain in a hilarious way, because we just talked about picking up a toothpick and it being dangerous. But first up, we got Killua from Hunter x Hunter with his fucking yo-yo, dude.
Okay, yo,
This guy, you're telling. Okay, guys, I haven't seen this show. All right, I've seen it a little.
Yeah.
I've seen bits and pieces. I get the gist, but
tell Jay to watch this show
No, I
because
will.
it is epic.
I definitely will. But guys, the implication here is that this guy has a tier list making yo-yo.
Okay, so
Explain.
So this is the classic one where it's like
I'm putting this in
about.
C tier while you talk.
Yeah.
We'll move it if we need to, but my gut reaction is that it's a yo-yo. It's going in at least C tier. But go on.
Okay, so his yo-yo is specifically designed for him, right? It is just.
What does that mean?
So it is just a yo-yo, but it's like his whole family's an assassin, like an assassin family, right? Like he's been born to be an assassin. And he's going to be one of the best in his family, but he has this power to like shoot electricity through it,
Okay.
right? So also
Kind of like a taser.
kind of like a taser, but also his mastery of the yo-yo. And I just thought it was kind of fun to like pick a melee weapon that was kind of a toy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but it's I'm pretty sure y'all can correct me if I'm wrong. I'm pretty sure it's made out of metal, specifically designed to kill people. But at the end of the day, it really comes down to it's Killua who is using it that makes it really good. Otherwise, it's just a yo-yo.
Yeah. 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 I actually just did a quick little bit of research because I needed to see if maybe at least the origins of the yo-yo had it being a weapon.
Yeah.
Or something, you know, some shit like that.
Like
used to
it was
be a
a
weapon
mystical-
and
yeah.
now it's not.
No, it's like made out of adamantium or whatever
Yeah.
or something.
Or like back in the day, like soccer, they used to play with like somebody's like severed head instead of a ball.
Yeah.
We play the same sport, just we use a ball,
Now, yeah.
right? Yo-yo, maybe used to be a deadly weapon, and now it's just a child's toy. No, always just a child's toy. Back in ancient Greece, this shit was just made for playing with.
Yeah.
But I guess if you can fucking put it in the hands of a prodigy assassin, and then put electricity through it. How much electricity are we talking? Like
a lot. Like you can like seriously like stun someone.
Like you think if he was really mad, he might be able to kill somebody with that level of electricity?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So we've got a deadly level of electricity coming through this yo-yo. I'm gonna keep it at C then, man.
Yeah. Yeah, C's a good one. But again, like I said, it's I would be okay if you put it in D only because it is just a yo-yo by itself. And
Oh wait, so is there anything inherent about the yo-yo that if I picked it up, I wouldn't be able to use it like a taser?
yeah, you can't use it as a taser.
If I picked it up, it's just a yo-yo.
it's just a yo-yo. Right? So cuz Killua uses his nen is what they
Yeah,
call
his
it
magic.
his magic in the show, and then he can electrify people.
So even like the string isn't like an extra strong string or anything? You
No,
can
I
just-
think it's just conductive. So
the
that
snippet?
it might be like metal wire so that you can conduct electricity through it, but that's about it.
But if he went up against like Edward Scissorhands or something, he's in trouble because he's just gonna
Yeah.
snip the string.
No, I don't think he. So the other thing though is he's also very good at using it.
Okay.
Very good at using it. Not everybody's gonna have that level of skill.
Yeah. Okay. So
You could all argue that Killua is the weapon.
I see what you're saying with that, and I respect that because I think we've got some other listings that might fit that bill as well. But this is just a yo-yo, dude.
Yeah, it is just the yo-yo. Okay, fine. D. It is.
It's
D.
a hell of a pick, though, man.
Yeah.
Because it really brings up a lot of interesting points about this whole topic, about what makes something S tier.
Well, I mean, just think about just the construction of a yo-yo. Like that's pretty much a morning star, in a way, right?
Yeah.
Like a mini morning star. You could use it as a mini morning star.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or taser.
Or taser.
Yeah. Yeah.
Guys, don't try this at home.
Don't try and turn a yo-yo into a taser. That will be a bad time. So the thing about yo-yos is they come back.
Yeah, it's true.
All right, that was a pretty hilarious first pick, though. All right, are you really gonna let me pick all of them?
Yeah, sure. Why not?
Okay, all right, let's go.
You made the tier board anyway, so.
Well, I guess this was just a website, but. All right, let's go with. Let's go with the scissor blade from Kill la Kill.
Ooh, this was one I was considering too.
This is an iconic weapon, I think, just as far as like ingenuity of design, and in a way that fit within the structure of the world that they created.
Wait, are we talking about like the fully formed scissor blade or just the one?
Let's talk about the highest. Like, let's just talk about it in general. Like, we can include the completed set.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because that's how it was designed to be.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Was the completed scissor with both halves intact, right? Like that I think is like, that's the ultimate form. That was how it was originally literally made, right?
Yeah.
And yeah, I guess, if you want to split it, you have the red and then you have the purple. But like, I mean, it's one fucking weapon. Yeah, it's a scissor. Yeah, it's made up of two blades. I guess if you want to get fucking technical, you know what I mean? But like, let's just not.
Okay. Well, I mean, unless you're from nudist beach. I don't know where I got that, all that energy from.
So something very important about this weapon, okay, is that within universe, okay,
yeah,
their form of power and their main way of fighting really is through their Goku uniforms.
Yes.
Right, and those things are the life fibers that are within those Goku uniforms are essentially indestructible.
Yeah, and this is one of the only things that can cut through that.
That's right. So right out of the gate, this thing has like a godlike power within the world that it exists. So like right off the bat, I'm going a hard S tier on this.
I don't know about hard S tier.
I'm open to discussion. That's the point of this, but
right? Because here's the thing. You having like this scissors doesn't mean you're going to be able to fight these guys who are like within their uniforms, right? Because their uniforms are like so OP, some of them, right? Depending on how many stars they have, right? Like because some of them are still able to fight off and block the scissors.
They're not being cut,
but they're also. Again, that's the drawback of the scissors, right? You have to have precision.
I suppose. Yeah.
Right?
You have to be somewhat skilled with them, I guess.
Right, because the other thing too is, are you going to be able to fully bring out the potential of the scissors without a senketsu? Right, because the one red scissors folds out even further, right? Like,
yeah, classic trigger style,
right? Like, so. I don't know if it's S tier because you're not going to be able to pull that out unless you have Senketsu on you, and Senketsu has to like pick you to where to.
Well, the scissors, you don't need Senketsu to use the scissors.
No,
like the other half of the blade was wielded by what's her face,
Nui. But that definitely helps bring out the potential of it.
I think you could say that about just about any weapon, though, right? Like I don't know, like does that demote it from S to A just because, like. I don't know. I mean,
I think it's A tier.
You put it at A?
I put it at A. Because here's the other thing. What was it? There's the other weapon. Her older sister had the katana that could also cut, and it was broken, and she turned it into two swords.
Yeah, but this is her blade, man. I'm not going to pick that other sword. Get out of here. It's a scissor blade, man. It's the main character's weapon. It's like the weapon. It's giant scissors in the show about fighting clothing. Like that's the ultimate. I'll give it an A just because you're right. Like I guess, we never really saw it utilized by somebody who didn't know what they were doing. Like it was always somebody who was pretty powerful in their own right that was making use of them. So, okay, I guess we can put this at A tier. I just think it's like super iconic and like
I agree.
It's one of those weapons that like
I'm never not gonna know what that is. And I mean, like
nobody's ever gonna do anything quite like that either.
You even see scissor blades in anime all the time because of this, right? Like Akame got killed. There's that one girl who has scissors for fucking a weapon.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I love the fucking scissor blades. I think they're insanely powerful. You know, the other thing is when you do cut the Goku uniforms, it also stops regeneration.
Yeah.
Which was something that they were always doing in this. Was it literally stops you from healing.
Yeah.
Which is more godlike, even more so. But
see, like I said, man, my thing is just to be able to use the full potential of the weapon in anybody else's hand, right? Because we talked at the beginning, it has to.
Yep.
How is it in?
How is it in my hands?
How is it in your hands? Like
you're right. I'm not taking out scissor blade's full potential in my hands. You're right. You're right. Okay.
All right. A slot.
An A and a D. All right. We're doing pretty good so far. All right.
We started off real strong.
I'm gonna make you. I'm gonna make you talk a shitload because I actually have never seen this fucking anime. Tokyo Ghoul.
Oh, dude, you've never seen this anime?
I have never seen Tokyo Ghoul, folks.
Oh,
that's
dude.
Right. Yeah.
How have I not known that?
I know the gist. It's classic. Monsters in the world. Guy becomes monster to fight monsters.
Dude,
Attack on Titan clone.
No, it's way more complicated than that. Dude.
I know. I'm just trying to piss a bunch of people off. That's all.
Yes. This is like
come to our comment section. Be mad at me. Drive up our engagement.
Feed the troll, guys. Feed the troll.
Anyways. Yeah. Tokyo Ghoul. They have a certain specific type of weapon.
Yes. Okay.
In the show.
Let me explain.
Yes.
So A, first of all, you need to watch Tokyo Ghoul, but B, you actually just need to watch the anime because, or not read the manga because the anime, they fucked it up.
Okay.
They need to like do a fucking like the first season was okay, was good, watchable, but like after that and when they were going into like Tokyo Ghoul, it was awful.
But this is called the Quinkyu?
Yeah, the Quinkyu or the Quincy. I never know.
It's spelled weird.
Yeah, it is spelled weird. But it's actually that weapon that you're seeing, like in the picture that you have right now, it is being used from an investigator. Mm-hmm. So one of the people that they're like police officers who go hunt ghouls.
Yeah.
But that weapon is actually part of the ghoul.
Right.
So
you can change its form, can you not? Yeah.
Right. So every ghoul has a Quinky, and there's different types and levels of what kind of, I'm going to say Quinky it is. So like, one is more based on agility, one's power, one's endurance, right?
Okay, I gotcha.
Right. So when some of them have doubles, right? But essentially,
triples is best.
Triples is best. Yeah, but triples is best. Right. So once they kill a ghoul, they take that part of their body and turn it into a usable weapon for humans. Oh. Right. So they are specifically designed to be wielded by humans to fight off ghouls with their own like inherent weapon. It's pretty fucking badass.
But like S tier?
I wouldn't say S tier because the thing within the anime or within the manga, they are really good, but
they're not all powerful.
They're not all powerful. Technically, if you're like a half ghoul, you're kind of the most OP ghoul there is. But
okay, but how about this? Just for frame of reference within the series, are there other handheld weapons in the series that put this to shame?
No. This is like
different. The ultimate weapon within the series.
Yeah, for humans. So there's this, and then they have like an Iron Man kind of suit made out of that stuff.
Okay.
Right. So it gives them a little bit of a boost in endurance and strength, but for the most part, these are the only kind of weapons you see people use in the series.
So my final question. Mm-hmm. If I was suddenly given the power to conjure up one of these weapons, like right now.
Yeah.
Right now.
Yeah.
How good would I be with it?
You know what? I bet you could probably get used to it.
Would I be OP out of the gate with that thing?
You'd be. I don't know about OP. You would be really P.
Ooh. I like to be really P.
You'd be RP.
Okay.
But you could get OP with a little bit of training.
So it's still dependent on the person.
You know what, and I think that's going to be the hard thing about all of these weapons is there's always going to be a bit of dependency.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as like usability, you're human just like everybody else in the series
Right.
that uses it. So it's like you're going to be able to use it like just like anybody else, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So like I mean, out of the gate, you'll be if you just know how to use the mechanism to turn it into something, or like, you know, say it's a big staff and then all of a sudden it's just this big like tail that whips around and something like that.
I can basically use it to its full potential.
Yeah.
So you're saying that if I was to fight a clone of me
Mm-hmm.
and I was holding this Tokyo Ghoul thing,
Yeah.
and the clone of me was holding the scissor blade, that I'm gonna take that guy with the scissor blade?
Oh yeah.
Yeah?
Oh, easy.
So then we gotta put this at least A tier.
I guess, yeah, we would have to put this on A tier.
I don't know. I mean, you tell me, is that committing a sin? Like, are the Tokyo Ghoul fans going to come at me even more than they already are?
That we didn't put it in S tier? No, like I think that it's definitely A tier, because S tier would be if we actually put a ghoul in there. Because the ghoul, when it's part of a ghoul, they know how to use it properly. It is part of their body, right? And then there are also different tier levels of like where a ghoul will turn into the next thing, where like they become this full blown monster,
right?
And they kind of lose their human form almost. So
yeah,
but yeah.
Okay, cool. So A tier.
A tier.
2 big red weapons in A tier. Anime likes their giant red weapons. Yeah. All right, let's keep this truck moving. I don't know, man. You pick one. I don't want to keep picking them. That's too much pressure.
Yo, let's do Sesshomaru's.
Well, no, we got to do those back to back, right?
Oh, okay. I guess, yeah, we do.
Yeah, we should do those back to back, unless you want to just go right in right now on the big boy. But
sure, why not? Fuck it.
All right, your pick, Tetsai. Well, my pick,
your
actually.
Pick.
But your pick right now is Tetsaiga or Tessaiga, however you want to pronounce it, from Inuyasha, the titular character's blade of choice, fashioned from the fang of his father, a full-blown demon, which within that world is, pretty much god-level strength. Basically, yeah, commissioned this sword to be made out of his tooth.
Yeah, hidden in his eye.
Yes.
In a pocket dimension.
Pocket dimension in his eye.
Yeah.
For him to one day find and wield. And this this sword, I mean, it was meant to end up in Inuyasha's hands.
Yeah.
That was his father's grand plan. And of course, his brother would get another sword, which we'll talk about momentarily. But the idea behind the Tessaiga is it is a yokai sword. So within that world, basically just means any sword or weapon that is basically infused with demon power is the most basic way to put it. And you guys have all watched
demon sword.
Yeah, you guys have all watched enough animes with demon swords or demon powers.
You know it's gonna be a
this
fucking
is exactly like that. The literal meaning is iron crushing fang.
Yeah.
Or steel cleaving fang. Yeah. Which is very
Iron Reversal
Soul Stealer. Yeah, that's such classic Inuyasha phrasing, is it not? Yeah, dude. But yeah, so this was forged by Totosai, who is a famous swordsmith from the Inuyasha world. And the idea is
I feel like this is Senpai's Corner right now.
Well, this is one of my favorite animes of all time. I would put this top 3 favorite like fictional swords of all time for me, probably.
It is a really cool sword. It is a really cool, because there's multiple levels to it too.
Oh
right?
yeah, we'll talk. I'm about to talk about that, but yeah, the idea is that it could kill 100 demons in a single stroke, which within this world is massive power.
Yeah.
But it essentially appears initially as a worn down, broken down, neglected katana.
Yep.
Seemingly nothing special.
Yeah.
Yeah, just normal. But once held by Inuyasha, Of course, it transforms into this giant, like scimitar-shaped blade with a huge plumage of fur around the hilt, not too dissimilar from Inuyasha's father's fur or Sesshomaru's fur. Of course, Inuyasha being a half demon, we never see him fully furry.
No,
but we would imagine he'd probably have a similar fur color
to
his brother and his dad.
With the white hair and all that stuff.
Exactly. Now, something interesting about this sword, I don't know if this has been the case with any of the other ones yet, but it will be later on, is that it's said that the sword possesses a mind of its own. So there's a certain level of consciousness going on to this sword, which is a theme in anime that I really, really love. I mean, Kill la Kill, you had consciousness going on in her outfit, in her clothing.
I mean, it was like literally a character.
Yes. But the sword itself, the scissor blade, wasn't alive.
Yeah.
Right? But either way, it essentially acts like as a guide for Inuyasha, and it helps him out in certain situations. It delivers some pretty much needed power-ups at some pretty crucial times, and gets all these crazy different forms, right? So there's obviously a ton of attacks it can do, but the red Tetsaiga is a super popular form, and that one, it can cut through barriers. It can basically, it's like a shield breaker version of the sword.
I mean, the biggest stipulation with this sword though is that it has to deem you worthy, and it has to, and like at first, Inuyasha could only bring out its power if he was like trying to save Kagome or something like that, right?
Well, it seems to be finicky.
Yeah.
Doesn't always want to work when they need it to, or in the way that they need it to.
Yeah.
Of course, in the end, it always does.
Yeah.
But I mean, you've got the diamond Tetsaiga, can shoot diamonds out of it. You got the dragon scale Tetsaiga. You've got there's like a galaxy blade Tetsaiga as well. That's like the ultimate form in the Final Cut. Sorry, that's called the Meido Tetsaiga.
Yeah.
But either way,
Jesus, Jay.
This to me is like, if we remove the fact that it requires Inuyasha in the equation, this is the epitome of an S tier sword. This is this is a sword that it can absorb like enemy energy. It's smart. It has built-in protection for the wielder Inuyasha, meaning other people can't just steal it and use it against you. And it seemingly has an endless amount of transformations that scale appropriately to the threat that they're facing to get them out of shit. Yeah. It has the most plot armor of any sword I think I've ever fucking seen in my life, dude.
Well, dude, like this is a sword that I really can't argue. Because not only do you have all those points, and I agree with all of them, because like it is also one of the most iconic in anime.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Especially amongst like elder weebs and anybody who watch or has seen some of the older stuff. So yeah, like this is an easy S tier. As long as Tetsaiga thinks you're worthy, you're gonna get all its power.
Yeah. And I think in order to fairly judge this, we have to put it in Inuyasha's hands.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's not really worth talking about.
Yeah.
Outside of Inuyasha's hands, it's easy D tier.
Yeah,
because it's just a rusty old sword.
But even then, right? Like I said, if you have somebody that's coming up to it, well, okay, yes.
If I grabbed one of these things off the wall, dude, 2 people can take me. You just need one other guy unarmed, and you're gonna get me.
Fair enough,
right? I would almost maybe want the yo-yo in that situation.
Tie up their legs. But yeah, I would give it an S tier because it is. I mean, there is a factor that we got to consider, and it's just how iconic it is.
The iconic factor. I like that.
Yeah,
I like that. Okay, let's keep that in mind moving forward, because I think we've got some that might bump a few up in ranks. At least by one level, if we think about the iconic status.
Well, because here's the thing, right? Like Kill la Kill, like how often are you seeing people in the anime community still cosplaying as Ryuko, or like bringing out that sword? A lot.
I mean, maybe not a lot,
right?
Maybe not a lot. I'm just thinking of like I watch a lot of YouTube of like people making anime weapons and swords and stuff, and the scissor blade does come up
Okay, I hear what you're saying, but
more
I don't.
than the Tokyo Ghoul one for sure.
Well, oh yeah, definitely more than the Tokyo Ghoul one. That's also really hard to make because it's so fucking huge. But like, there's also tons and tons of people who are still really into Inuyasha.
Oh, it's stronger than ever,
Right? Like even with the spin-off or the
Yashahime.
the Yashahime, right?
Yeah.
So I think as far as longevity and how iconic it is, yeah, you got to put it in this tier.
I have no problem with putting this above these two.
Yeah.
I just think maybe there's some debate and some question as to whether or not these two are actually on the same level.
Well, we're also talking about within the world.
Within their own world, yes.
Within their own
and we
world.
qualified that at the beginning, but this
Yes.
is what I'm saying. This is why we didn't do that.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But
But there is also the cool factor, which because we're about to do
Tenseiga.
Tenseiga Sesshomaru's sword, is that Inuyasha, his dad, made this sword because he knew that Inuyasha was physically weaker, and because
would need it. It would help him. It would help teach Inuyasha the lessons that Inuyasha was going to need to learn.
Yes. Right, and then same with Sesshomaru with his sword, where you can't kill anything.
Which is the Tenseiga, which is the opposite of the Tetsaiga, said to be able to save 100 lives with a single stroke.
Yes.
Now, the thing this is interesting as well, because this is a sword that Sesshomaru himself didn't want.
Yeah.
He fucking hated it. He thought it was a punishment.
Yeah.
And obviously came to understand the true power of the sword, and it essentially becomes a twin or almost like an equal to the Tetsaiga within their world. That never reaches the same iconic status, of course, especially because it lacks that kind of transformation that you want to see out of an anime sword. But
I'm also like, it's also he's a secondary character, right?
well, I think he all the flash that you would get out of a transforming sword, you get out of a transforming character.
Yeah.
Who looks incredible, but then can
But
transform into a giant demon dog that drools fucking acid. Like,
Yeah.
so sick, man. Like, it's so fucking cool. He doesn't need a transforming sword.
How many people have drooled over him?
Exactly. Yeah, I get
Like,
it,
literally.
right? But like, I think this one brings up an interesting point as well, because when we're talking about things being powerful or OP or iconic, it's interesting to think about the function that a sword often serves, especially within the world of anime, that a sword serves as a function to kill one's enemies for the purpose, oftentimes, of preserving life, either the wielder's life or the life of their loved ones, of those that they are trying to protect. Right? So if a blade...
Situationally.
Of course, but if a blade in a single stroke is capable of saving 100 lives... is that not just as good as a blade capable of taking 100 lives that are threatening your sacred 100 lives that you're trying to protect? It's essentially like, it's a pacifist route to the same end point.
Yeah.
But this sword obviously does it in a different way.
I mean, like, we have like the Rurouni Kenshin sword on here as a list too, right? Like where he has the reverse blade, right?
Yes.
And like he uses it to, doesn't want to kill anyone, so he uses the side to protect and whatnot. But I don't know, man. I wouldn't put it in an S tier by any means. I don't think it deserves S tier. I do think it's still a really cool thing, and it's kind of been a bit tropey as far as like within the anime community, like animes in general, where weapons are like, you shouldn't wield a weapon to kill. But I'm like, we have fucking assassins, man. In anime, they are specifically using swords to kill people. They're not protecting anything.
Yeah.
Right? Like, there's nothing to protect. They're all discarding it whichever way. They just want to get the mission accomplished, right?
Yeah.
So situationally, it is I think a weapon is always meant to be always initially made to kill somebody, to cause harm, no matter what. Right?
Okay.
So
I think a weapon is a tool for an individual to accomplish their goals and their tasks. It's a means to an end.
oh, now okay, we're about to get philosophical here.
I'm just saying that to me is what a weapon is.
Yeah.
If you want to really boil it down, it's a tool.
It's a tool
used in the hand of somebody based on whatever intent that they have. The Tenseiga used as a tool in the hands of somebody trying to resurrect a loved one, heal 100 people at once, create a protective barrier, all of these different things. It is matched only by the Tetsaiga within its world as far as being a invaluable tool in somebody's hand. You literally have life and death in the form of two swords, and you're arguing that life doesn't stack up to death.
But doesn't that track for me?
It tracks for you, but it doesn't track for like the world. You know, almost all like theologies understand that there's a balance of life and death.
Yes, there is always, and I mean, yes, it's always about maintaining balance when balance is
and that's the idea
unbalanced.
Of these swords, right?
Yes,
and that's
true.
the lessons that Sesshomaru learns as somebody who's hyper violent and aggressive.
Yeah,
is that protection and protecting your loved ones is even more important than destroying the ones that you hate.
All right, put it in S tier.
I'm not going to. I'm going to go to A.
You're going to go to A.
I'm going to drop it from S because I agree. There's an iconic factor that's missing here. I have never, ever once on YouTube seen somebody making Tenseiga.
Yeah, that's true.
Never.
No. it's because
Should they?
Yeah. But it's too plain. There's nothing really...
Like maybe there are some nuances, some subtle details in the anime that if somebody's a really big fan of this sword, they would like to see a swordsmith make on YouTube or whatever. But like somebody making Tetsaiga versus Tenseiga, like nobody's gonna go watch the guy making Tenseiga. They want to go see this huge fucking scimitar blade getting made, right? Like
because the other one is just gonna look like a regular katana,
right?
Yeah.
So it lacks a bit of that iconic factor, but I think in every other way, it's an S tier weapon.
Weapon.
I'll qualify it
with quotes, air quotes.
Bunny ears for you, okay? Mr. Death is the only way.
Death is the only way.
Well, it'll be death to this podcast if you guys don't fucking subscribe, okay? So let me just steal that one from Mikey right now and say that we really could use the help and the subscriptions and the upvotes and the ratings. All
ratings,
such a long way.
Apple Music or Spotify.
Yeah.
Tell a friend because that's really word of mouth is a really good way for people to get to know us.
Yeah. So, and also just thank you for just being here. There's like our subscribers are going up and it's like wild to me that like this number is increasing and not going down. Like people are here and they want to keep coming back.
Yeah.
They're not running for the hills after a few episodes. That's wild to me. Thank you guys. Seriously.
Just put
I love
on
that.
Iron Maiden.
Thank you. Yeah. That's a good song.
If you don't know that song,
you're too young.
Too young.
But also go listen to some fucking Iron Maiden.
Yeah.
Do yourself a favor. But anyways, back to it.
Back to it. Yes, please. Love you guys. And let us know too, actually, before we continue, if you do like these tier lists or if you have any other ideas that you want us to, talk about.
Yeah.
We're more than open to suggestions.
Yeah, we like doing this stuff. It's fun for us.
Yeah.
We like our usual routine as well. We definitely want to keep doing that. But if you guys are enjoying this, please tell us because then we'll keep doing it. And if you guys are hating this and you're like, fuck, I wish I get back to covering anime, tell us that too. Because we'll stop wasting your time. You know what I mean? But hopefully you guys like it.
Yeah, well, I mean, we might still pop a couple in here and there because I do find it fun.
It's for us.
For us.
And actually, before we get back to this, I also want to say, I don't know when this will actually drop, but Anime North is coming up.
Yes.
Okay. And real quick, I just want to throw in that Anime Shmanime will absolutely have a presence at Anime North. However, I'm very sad to say.
Yes.
Very, very depressed to say. And I really hope that this doesn't send you all running for the hills. Another Iron Maiden reference. There you go. But we won't.
Same one.
We won't be joined by the main reason I think everybody's going to come and want to meet us.
I mean, people think Jordy's the.
Yes, but let's be real. You're the fucking face, man, and people are going to be disappointed to find out you can't make Anime North this year.
No, I will not be at Anime North this year.
And that's sad.
Unfortunately.
Dude. That's heartbreaking for me. That's heartbreaking for the Shweebs.
I know. I've spoken to a few people.
Yeah.
Who are
bummed.
They're bummed, but they're still, planning on going.
I hope so.
Yeah,
I still want to meet you all.
Yeah, I keep telling them to bring you guys cookies. and stuff like that.
I love cookies.
Go say hi.
No raisins though.
Yeah.
Raisins don't belong in cookies.
Yeah. And what's fun too is this year we got a press pass.
I'm glad you just dropped that because I was gonna ask you to mention that because I didn't want to take the thunder of that announcement. But yeah, we got fucking media passes this year, which means we're gonna be all over the convention, inside, outside, getting interviews with you guys. Come talk to us.
Like other people.
Yeah, but please come talk to us.
Some other more important people that are within the actual community and industry.
It would be nice to network. It would be nice to network. Yeah.
Hopefully, but
try and grow this thing. But ultimately, guys, like personally, I just want to meet like one single one of you. If I have one single one of you guys watching right now
or listening,
come up. Actually, you know what? I'm going to incentivize this even more. Even more, I'm going to incentivize this. Yeah. If you guys can come up to me at Anime North, one person, okay, can come up to me and tell me who my anime boyfriend is.
Which is?
Well, I guess I'll say it because you'd have to watch this episode to know. Yeah, everybody knows my anime boyfriend is Suguru Geto from Jujutsu Kaisen, okay? My anime girlfriend, favorite girl, is Ilulu from Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid, okay?
Best girl.
There might be a hint for that answer when you see me, that's a given answer. But if you can come up to me and name either one of those people, I am going to have a prize for you. Okay.
Oh, sweet.
I am going to have a goodie with me, a special prize. I'm figuring out what it is right now on the spot in this very moment.
He's just doing it.
This is on the fly, dude.
On the fly.
I didn't think this through at all. That's right, people. This is unfiltered. Okay. I will give you a prize. Okay. But it's only going to one. And I'll have to break your hearts and tell you if somebody already came up and claimed it, okay? Yeah. But you got to name either my anime
you'll get
boyfriend.
A consolation prize. We'll have a bunch of stickers.
We'll have tons of stuff to give out. But I'm telling you, special senpai prize.
Yes.
Okay? If you can come up and make my weekend and just prove to me that you exist, watchers, subscribers,
listeners,
then I will have a special senpai prize for you if you can name my anime boyfriend or girlfriend. Doesn't have to be both, but one or the other.
I mean, if you just come up to us and say, "Hey, I listened to your podcast," that would make our fucking day.
Yeah. Well, yeah. We're going to lose our shit.
Make our fucking day.
I can't even fathom that happening. That's why I'm trying to incentivize it with prizes. But no, for real, we would just love to meet you guys. And obviously, please come meet us and then send some messages to Mikey, who won't be there. Come tell him how much you wish that he was there and how betrayed you feel.
Fuck yourself.
I'm just joking. No, he has a very good reason. Good reason for not coming.
If you guys go to Anime North and you see Jay, and if you kick him in the shins and say this is from Mikey, I will give you a prize. Okay, I will send you a prize because I also know if you do that, they're gonna have it on film.
Yeah.
Right, and I'll see it because I'll be the one editing it.
And he might rethink this when I pass that shin kick along to him.
That's not true.
In my steel toe boots. Yeah, buddy.
Yeah, buddy. All right. Anyway. Okay, so where are we at?
All right, that's the two Inuyashas. Let's do another crazy one, dude. Let's get Fooly Cooly with it.
Fooly Cooly. This is straight S tier. This is a straight S tier weapon. And now here, this is my argument. All right, listen to me.
Prepare, guys, for the most biased argument you've ever heard in your life. Keep in mind, Mikey is a bass player.
So first of all, yes, it is a bass, but it's not just any bass. It is the 4001 Rickenbacker in Midnight Blue.
Okay.
Right, and you can use it to communicate like over galaxies, which is pretty impressive. You can use it to literally beat down aliens. Right. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
It's not like just a bass that you just hit somebody once with it and it breaks. And not to mention, it's Fooly Cooly. It's fucking cool.
Coolness factor, I mean, is through the roof on this.
Yeah.
My question is that if I picked that thing up am I just playing fucking Smoke on the Water and Seven Nation Army?
Okay,
Or
first
am
of
I
all,
communicating to other galaxies?
you, sir, are also a bass player.
I know.
so don't give me that
It's
shit.
true. I was hoping you would notice.
And
I've been exposed.
If you watched any of or listened to any of our other anime episodes about bands and music,
We're all bass players. All three of us.
Yeah. But anyway, but you even see the what's his name, the little dude. He even uses a fucking guitar, and he's like going crazy with it. Just a regular human.
Yeah, they do conjure up these crazy magical guitars in that world.
Yeah.
They're pretty fucking insane for sure.
Right. So I wouldn't say it's like an A tier, but definitely B tier.
Okay.
At least B.
I think practicality wise, I mean, most of the time it's a bass.
Yeah.
But then every once in a while they pull some trigger fooly-cooly
Yeah.
shit, and it becomes much more than that. Ah, man, this is tough. And I do see the iconic status as well, because when people think fooly-cooly, you immediately think of the bass.
But the thing is,
It's so iconic.
it spans more than just anime now, because it is a real bass guitar. And if you go up to bass players or just even gearheads in the music world
And bring up a Rickenbacker, they'll know.
Yeah,
You
they'll know
your shit. Yeah.
right? Like
Yeah.
if you've even heard of the Beatles, you should know,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. I mean, Lemmy, fucking
Yeah.
Motorhead.
Well, there you go,
King of the
right?
Rickenbacker. Yeah.
Right? Exactly. So it transcends animation and
It does.
time and space.
But I don't give all of that cred to Fooly Cooly.
No, but it doesn't hurt that it helps.
It doesn't hurt that it helps. You guys heard it here first. It doesn't hurt that it helps. You can say that again, buddy.
Yeah, doesn't
You
hurt.
can say that again. It definitely doesn't hurt that it helps. I love that phrase, dude. Oh my God. I actually love that. Fuck, man. Let's put it at A.
Hey, yes.
Let's put it at
Just
A.
because it's iconic.
It's iconic, and it is really like it is kind of used as like an OP weapon within that world. Like whenever they need to really
Come down and like,
repel
fuck,
something
yeah.
or hit like a real big knockout of the park fucking shot, they're usually pulling a base out of the nether
Yeah.
and using it, right? So does that world make any sense? Fuck no, dude.
No.
It's a giant flat iron fucking
Yeah, like a 50s
yeah,
style.
weird shit going
Yeah.
on in that show, but like it's iconic and it's powerful as fuck. So we'll give the Rickenbacker A. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that.
Nice.
All right.
I got what I want. I'm done with this episode.
Let's circle back to a kind of a more pacifist sort of weapon, and let's talk about Kenshin's blade. What was the name of this thing?
I don't remember. It's the reverse blade where the front of the blade is a blunt back, and then like the back of the blade is where the curve is
Yeah, where
actually-
the edge of the blade should be is blunt,
yes,
and where the blunt edge of the blade should be, it's sharp.
yes,
It's the Sakabato. That was the name.
Sakabato. Yeah, and that's actually a real sword.
Yeah.
That's not even like just because of the anime. It's a real sword. Like people have made that sword.
Yeah. Well, it was created and popularized by.
Raruinen.
Yeah.
But I think it was made before that.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure. But anyway, this is a weird one to me because I have a lot of nostalgia for the anime, but I also know there's a lot of controversy around this anime, especially with the reboot.
Oh yeah, we don't need to talk about that.
Yeah, we don't need to talk about that. That's true.
That's a different episode.
That's a different episode because I have some choice words about that one. But yeah, as far as this blade goes, it's kind of iconic, but it's not much more than a sword. It's literally just a regular katana, and like you holding it, like you said, you just need two people, and probably one more so because this is a reverse blade.
It'd be more difficult for sure.
Yeah.
But I think where the power of this sword lies isn't in its literal physical power, but in its symbolic metaphorical power and what it kind of represents as a weapon.
No, man, you can't start going fucking metaphorical.
No, you
figurative
now listen.
bullshit.
This is a weapon wielded by somebody who is trying to approach things in a different way.
Yeah,
in
but
a way
like,
that isn't wanton killing.
Did we establish that we were going to discuss these weapons as a figurative weapon or metaphorical weapon?
I think that it's worth discussing the power that it holds to have a samurai wielding a weapon that is not meant to kill, but is instead meant to injure and incapacitate in a way that prevents the opponent from killing. That if things are pushed to a point where killing is necessary, the wielder is literally forced to turn the blade around and use it upside down, basically, in order to kill. It forces second and third thoughts into that wielder about whether or not they do want to kill, whether or not it is necessary to kill.
But as a weapon, on its own, is just a katana.
It has power of a different kind, I would say.
It has no power of sorts at all.
You're actually going to try and put this C or D tier?
I would put it B tier. I like, you got it in B tier right now. I would be okay with B tier just because of how iconic it really is, right? Like, I mean, anytime you think of a rune, you're going to think about that sword, no matter what.
Yeah.
Right? So
also, our boy does some damage with it regardless.
yes, it's true. He does reverse the blade, right? So I've seen that happen, and I do know that. But again, like, we're putting a regular katana up against all these fantastical swords. Like, you have a katana, like, but with Sashomaru, that could save
Different universe. There's magic in that universe.
And you're saying there's metaphorical magic in this one?
No, not metaphorical magic at all. I'm saying that there's metaphorical meaning. There's symbology. That itself is magic. Power.
Yeah, power. It has power. Magic has power.
Meaning, like, metaphor has power. Absolutely, it does, man. I think you are so violence-minded right now because we're talking about weapons that you are just being, like, blockheaded to this idea that it's. I think it holds a lot of emotional weight and power to it, and I'm okay with keeping it in B tier. I think that's a fine compromise to make. I would like to put it in A tier, simply because I think it deserves B tier on its own, and then A tier for iconic status. But let's compromise.
Okay,
we'll keep it in B.
B. I'm happy in B.
But I like that sword better than you do, and that makes me cooler than you. Next,
I love that sword.
You're just busting your balls, dude. I couldn't help
Jesus Christ. I'm going to have to take my sweater off. I'm fucking sweating.
Oh, that was an easy one.
Yeah.
Okay. How about you argue the prowess of a shield?
Yeah. Okay.
As a weapon, my friend.
This is technically a melee weapon.
Okay.
It could be used as one. I mean, sure, there's so this is the legendary shield from Rising of the Shield Hero. Now,
I buy shields as melee weapons. I played plenty of Souls games, okay? I know a good shield bash can go a long way.
Oh, yeah. I fucking love Souls games.
Yeah.
So, but this sword in particular, like, because it's an isekai, what it can do is you can take, like, material from, like, I don't know, like a defeated monster, and you can feed it to the sword and to the shield, and the shield will gain different powers, right? And you'll gain different skills, right? So, but the thing is, within this world, because he was chosen as a hero, he can't use any other weapon. So this is the only thing that he can use.
Hence the shield hero.
Yeah, hence the shield hero. But he can get to a point with this shield where he brings up it changes forms too, all sorts of different forms depending on what kind of monster he fed it.
Right.
And in this anime, he has like this rage form where, like, puts him in like this crazy black armor that starts like sucking his blood and using his blood as like life material or power to like shoot off this huge blast.
Cool.
Right? So it's like, it is a fucking cool shield.
It seems like one. Yeah. Now, does that power that it has have anything to do with him?
Yes, but no. So in the
A
world,
low-level NPC in that world.
so a low-level NPC can't use it. But here's the thing: so in that world, there has been heroes before him that have been isekai'd into that same world that was a shield hero.
Okay.
So once that hero dies, they bring another one in and takes over that place.
Okay.
So as long as you're the one who's been picked, you can use it.
Right.
Right? As long as you're the one being picked and isekai'd in.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah, so I mean, it's kind of similar to like how Tetsaiga requires Inuyasha. The shield requires the shield hero
Yeah, and whoever that shield hero is
at that given time.
at that given time.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
So I mean, then by that point, by that same metric, it's you can't knock it for being dependent on the shield hero.
Yeah.
It's kind of not fair because it just simply doesn't function otherwise. We're not even talking about it otherwise.
Yeah.
It's a fucking wall hanger otherwise, right?
Otherwise, yeah.
Basically.
Yeah, basically.
That's what you're saying. If you're not the shield hero, you can't use it.
Yeah.
So it's a wall hanger. No.
Okay, yeah.
I'm not saying this as a reason to knock it down, right?
Yeah.
I'm saying that like we shouldn't judge it that way.
That way. Okay, I see. Yes.
The same way we can't judge Tetsaiga in its powered down form. It's not fair.
Yes.
It's also not fun to talk about a powered down
version of this. That's true.
right? So let's think about it, just in general, in the hands of a shield hero, is this an S tier weapon or A?
So
You've seen the show.
I think it's an A tier.
Okay.
I think it's absolutely A tier. It could be S tier, but there's other weapons for the other heroes. But the reason why it would be an S tier weapon is how he uses it. Right. But it's also more like also a mechanism in the story for him to be able to do certain things.
Sure.
Right. But like otherwise it's a total A tier weapon.
So there's other weapons in that universe that are better.
I guess it would be personal preference because at the end of the day, like you have you either the bow hero, you're the lance hero, you're the sword hero,
Cool.
or you're the shield hero.
Gotcha.
Right. And like, I mean, if I'm going to pick one, I'm going to pick probably the sword, but I also like the shield.
But I don't know, I would not pick shield, man.
Yeah, like who actually picks shield in like an RPG, right? Like
Scaredy cats.
yeah,
Afraid to get hit.
yeah,
Yeah. But yeah, okay, that's cool. I'm fine with it in A. No. It's in the name of the fucking show.
Yeah, exactly.
The Rising of the Shield Hero. It's like the main character's main weapon of the show that's named almost after the weapon.
I mean, it goes back to our other episode of like, side character showdown. Right. In this anime, like he's not, Naofumi's not my favorite character.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
It's Raftalia.
I know that. 'Cause she's hot.
Yeah.
All right. Let's keep this train rolling. I don't know who this is.
Oh, yes.
I have no idea. It is a dark-haired girl.
So this is
pulling a sword.
Yeah, so this is Durara, and it's the Saika sword.
Okay.
So in this,
you brought up this show before. This is a fucking crazy weird ass show.
Oh yeah, it's a great. I think it's a classic now at this point.
Yeah.
But this sword, anybody can wield it.
Okay.
It doesn't matter who has it.
Okay.
Anybody can wield it.
I could wield it.
You could wield it.
Okay.
The whole point of this sword, it's a katana, is that whoever it cuts, they become your slave.
Oh.
Yeah.
For how long? Forever?
Yeah, I think so. I can't actually remember. It's been a long time since I watched this. But it also kind of like influences you, right? Like kind of like those demonic swords where like, you kind of start becoming a bit more bloodthirsty.
Is that the sword or is that the fact that you own slaves?
I think it's the sword. But at the same time, that also... Yeah.
Because I feel like just owning slaves all of a sudden would definitely twist a human being.
Yeah, that's also true.
No one should have that.
Have slaves?
No.
I you know what, man? people in this day and age are fucked. So I would not be surprised if somebody would use this sword.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm sure there are also people in this day and age who would volunteer to be a slave as well. We know those people exist in this world.
That's also true, but that's a kink.
It is, but win-win.
Win-win, yeah.
Right?
Anybody want to get isekai to Durara?
Anyways, moving on. Talking about swords, right?
Yeah.
Just swords, not slaves. Swords. Go on.
The sword in your pants.
Go on.
Okay, but yeah, that's pretty much it. It's pretty basic like that.
Okay. So, I mean, obviously the fact that anybody can use its power, it makes it quite a powerful thing.
Mm-hmm.
That helps. That goes a long way. What doesn't help is that I've rarely heard about this anime, let alone the sword within it.
Yeah, this is not an iconic sword by any means.
Right, right.
Like even the anime itself, I don't think it's had enough longevity. Not like Inuyasha, right? Like you don't really see a lot of people cosplay as characters from Durara.
Like I said, it's not one
like
that
salty. Like
I hear about it mostly through you, dude.
Yeah,
and not to say that it's like a cult or anything. I'm probably the one out of touch, but like I just it scores no points for iconic status in my books. Power within its world. I mean, obviously it can turn people into slaves, but are there other powers at play? Are there other things at play that kind of make this a little less impactful?
Yeah, it's not. It's definitely not the OP thing. Like, I mean, Salty is the OP character. Who's the, forget again.
Where's the helmet, right?
Yeah, where's the helmet? And she's got like the big scythe. Like,
that's right.
Right. Like, and then not to mention there's other characters that are just crazy OP anyway. It's just a cool sword.
It's very cool. So what are you putting it C?
I would put it C only because it doesn't have the same iconic factor.
And if it didn't have the ability to turn you into a slave, it would just be a katana, in which case it would be D.
Yes.
So we'll give it 1 point, 1 bump up because it can make people slaves.
Yes.
Okay. Cool. That works.
Yeah.
That's a good pick, though.
Yeah. It's interesting, right?
It is a cool power. And again, like I said, the fact that anybody can just pick that up and use that power is that's pretty sick. All right, cool. Let's try and fill out the lower portion of this tier list a bit more. I'm liking that we're digging into some interesting ones. I want to talk about the Z sword, guys.
The Z sword.
I want to talk about the fucking Z sword. And no, this is not Future Trunks' sword, okay? That's a different sword, people. All right? A lot of people get that confused. This is not the thing that sliced and diced Mecha Frieza. And it's not the thing that Future Trunks fucking imbues with power and turns it into a fucking energy blade. That's for my super fans out there.
Yes.
This is the Z sword. This is the sword that they train with on King Kai's planet and a few other instances. This sword kind of comes into play.
Fucking heavy.
It's very heavy, but it pops up occasionally throughout the series and in a few of the movies. However, during my research, my eyes were open to the fact that this thing breaks all the time. It's broken like 5 or 6 times. Yeah. Basically, anytime it comes up and starts getting used, at some point somebody breaks it.
Yeah. It's a training sword. That's all it is,
literally.
Man.
Yeah.
Right? So
and all of the characters that are using it to train very quickly become far more powerful than this sword can handle, and then they break it.
I mean, with it, like I said, like just the fact that you said that, and also everybody knows DBZ, right? Like people are fucking demolishing like planets at this point, especially in Super.
Nobody needs a fucking sword.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Not to mention a training sword that breaks.
Right. Like literally, like everybody freaks out over Trunks and his sword.
Yeah.
That's Trunks wielding that sword, which is very important. Mm-hmm. And that sword itself is just better made than this Z sword. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like this is like almost like a fucking carnival sideshow challenge. Like lift the sword if you can and you'll get a prize.
This is
right? That's kind of what this is.
Yeah. There's a little gimmick that's like with magnets just holding it down.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah. If there was an E tier, that's where I would put this.
Really?
Dude, if any weapon is breaking on you, multiple times. That is not a good weapon.
But it's the Z sword, dude. Is there not a bit of iconic status with this that might?
Who in their right fucking mind is going and being like, hey, you know the Z sword from DBZ? It's the fucking Z sword. Isn't that so cool? Nobody's fucking doing that. No one. They're good. All they're thinking about is Kamehamehas, Final Flashes, Android 18, that's it.
I guess if any sword's getting made out of Dragon Ball Z, it'll probably be Trunks, and it's for like a Trunks cosplay.
Yeah, that would be it.
Right? Okay.
I would be very surprised if most people even remember this sword.
Okay, well, let the record show. I want to put this in C tier because of the Dragon Ball status of iconicness, but we'll put it in D
because it fucking breaks.
Because it's basically fucking useless. Okay. Really though, like, don't get me wrong, guys. It gets used here and there. It pops up here and there. It gets wielded by some powerful people here and there. But like, it's trash. On this list, within its world, it's trash.
It's trash.
It's trash. All right.
It's trash.
You pick the next one.
Oh, you know what? Let's do Senketsu.
Boom.
Boom.
The iconic butcher knife, essentially, from Bleach. Let's do it, man.
Yeah.
Fucking...
Dude, this thing's powerhouse.
Yeah. And it's a person, really, in a way.
In a way.
It's an actual character in the show.
Yeah.
With a personality.
Yeah.
With lessons to teach.
Oh, man, yeah. Fuck. So this sword... It's kind of weird though, right? With this one, because
this is an iconic sword, man. Like, iconic status. This is honestly automatic S tier for me. We can talk about it, but go on.
But yeah, that's the thing, right? Like it is automatic S tier. Like this you're looking at a fully formed, souled, like it has its own personality.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, granted, yes, it came from Ichigo's like soul energy and personality, but it literally takes so many different forms, and especially if you guys know in Thousand Year Blood War, it takes on an even different form. Like, I don't want to ruin it for you, but
please don't. Yeah, definitely don't ruin it for me. No, I mean, listen, I've watched, like the first like fucking 50 some odd episodes of Bleach or whatever. I mean, I've watched enough to know that this is like an incredibly important weapon and sword and character. I mean, the main character of the show learns some of his most crucial lessons from this teacher, like this sage of a sword, basically, that he almost like enters the sword in a sense and exists in this like pocket dimension with this guy.
It's like the sword
and trains within it. It's crazy.
Yeah, because the sword essentially is a part of Ichigo, and that sword is trying to protect Ichigo, right? But when Ichigo is feeling unconfident, and unsure of himself, the sword's power also kind of falters a little bit. But then he tries to like really try to, through battle, teach Ichigo to be more confident, and then he grows and becomes stronger. But then you also have the hollow part of it all.
That's right.
And then
Which
once
is
you
the
get
challenge for Ichigo,
yeah, right? And then there's the Bankai, and like with his Ichigo's Bankai. Are you at that point?
I haven't seen the Bankai yet. I know it's coming, but I haven't seen it yet.
Okay, so but it's just the sword.
Yeah.
Right? Like where other people's Bankais are different.
Right. It changes forms entirely. It takes on an entirely different appearance, everything.
Yeah,
but for him, it stays.
It stays just like the sword.
Yeah.
Right? So I say this is S tier all day.
Yeah, I mean, I'm such a nerd for always bringing it back to this, but like when I'm on YouTube and I'm watching, swordsmiths make anime weapons for real, this is one of I'd say 3 or 4 that are always being made by somebody.
Yeah.
Anybody who does that type of thing on their channel has made this blade. You go to any cosplay website or online store or anything, they're selling this sword.
Yeah.
Is it undersized for how big it should be, almost always.
Well,
but
I mean,
but
yeah.
you can buy this sword basically a million different ways.
Yeah.
And
Bleach
also,
is still huge and probably even more huge than it's ever been now.
yeah, and this is the most iconic, identifiable thing from Bleach, aside from maybe Kon. Like,
I don't know, man. Some of the characters. You mean as far as like items go?
No, as far as like somebody who doesn't watch Bleach, has never seen Bleach, and you put a few Bleach things on the screen.
Yeah,
and a few non-Bleach things on the screen.
Yeah.
I guarantee anybody who's never seen Bleach but just knows about it will probably be able to tell you that Kon and that sword are from Bleach.
Yeah. Yeah.
They might not
sure.
be able to tell you that one of the other generals are from Bleach, or
They'll be able to
the fucking Quincy or anything like that.
The uniforms they'll be able to tell, but like that's about it.
Like
The captain's cape.
Ichigo and maybe Kenpachi at this point are like the only other two ones where I think to a non-fan they'd be like, I think that's Bleach.
Yeah. No, I
Anybody
agree.
else you could maybe write off as being from a different show.
Yeah. Well, or
Renji,
Renji's like
his
right.
markings are kind of like that.
But yeah, you're right though. Like if you're not a fan of Bleach and you barely know anything about it, it's just like been advertised and just around so much that you would just know it.
People like, here's a quick honorable mention, guys, that we're probably not going to have time to discuss very much, but the swords from Final Fantasy.
Yes.
Okay. Buster Sword.
Yes.
It's on your wall. Legendary.
Yeah.
The Gunblade, okay, from Final Fantasy VIII. My personal favorite, okay? Iconic, legendary,
Yeah.
okay? People who have never picked up Final Fantasy VII know that the Buster Sword is from Final Fantasy VII.
Yes. That's
If,
true.
if you have even an ounce of nerdism in you, you know that the Buster Sword is Cloud's weapon from Final Fantasy VII without ever fucking
Technically-
touching the game.
It's Zack's, but we're not gonna get into that.
It's Cloud's fucking weapon, dude. My God, Crisis coring this shit up on me. No, this is one of those things. Like, yeah, I hadn't even seen an episode of Bleach, and I knew that this was the sword from Bleach.
Yeah.
It was the Bleach sword.
The Bleach sword. All right, S tier.
So yeah, that's definitely an S tier. All right, let's keep this going. I got a little back-to-back talk here because
Oh, yeah,
I want
let's
to talk
do-
about
let's do that.
seven deadly sins, because we have Meliodas' lost vein, his sacred treasure, which is a super interesting one because you got Meliodas, who is like kind of the epitome of OP plot armor, main character, prowess, full counter.
Full counter.
Being his main weapon. And for anybody who doesn't know, Meliodas is able to basically just say the words full counter and can reverse any attack sent on him to the sender
Yeah.
at full power.
Yes.
Without losing any power whatsoever. It's a full-blown just reversal. Reverse Uno card.
reverse card.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
That's him as a character, okay? So, like, literally the most OP power imaginable. He's the magical cylinders for all you Yu-Gi-Oh fans, okay? He's the magical cylinders of anime characters. But to add insult to injury, his sacred treasure, Lost Vein, this dagger blade type thing with holes in it, grants him the ability to clone himself. Actually, I think a maximum of 7 times. It was originally 6, and then I believe it extended to 7 in one of the movies.
I can't remember, but I just know it cloned himself.
I believe
But,
it's 6 and 7. So, I mean, 7 being poignant.
Yeah.
7 deadly sins.
Oh, yeah,
7
that makes
clones of
sense,
himself, right? But either way, the interesting part, of course, is that once he clones himself using this blade, all 7 of those clones can use full counter. All of them at once. If they want to.
But that being said, on its own, it's just a sword that can clone you.
Yes. They can, it'll clone you, whoever you are.
Yeah.
I mean, let's okay. This is Meliodas' sacred treasure. So I think maybe him unlocking that power might just be a him thing.
Being able to clone himself?
Yeah, because he sold this weapon at one point. He sold it, and then who was it that got it? Somebody else fucking bought it back and then gave it to him.
I don't know.
Might have been, might have been
remember.
Merlin, but anyways.
Oh, yeah, might have been.
Yeah, or Gother. Either way, somebody got it for him, but he sold it. And I think he sold it knowing that it was just going to be a super high quality blade.
That nobody's ever going to be able to use the magical powers with.
Right, or clone themselves with or whatever. Because, I mean, good luck getting it back when somebody knows that they can do that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're going to have a hard-ass fucking time.
Well, I mean, if you're one of the 7 deadly sins, that'd probably be
maybe you could
easy.
get it back. But, yeah, I mean, I'm going to assume it was purchased back.
Yeah.
And that, outside of Meliodas' hands, it is just a blade. Now, we didn't penalize Tetsaiga for that, and we didn't penalize the shield for that necessarily.
But
its ultimate power is just cloning.
It's just exactly. That's what I'm saying. It's just cloning because he's been using full counters since day one, and he was even using it with that fucking broken sword.
That's right. He can use it with anything.
He can use it with anything.
It's his power.
That power in and of itself is OP, right?
Yeah.
But the sword itself, yes, it makes him even more OP.
Yeah.
But it's kind of a one-trick pony.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
A one-trick pony. And besides, I also think, personally, the broken sword that he had at the beginning is more iconic than this one.
Okay, I like the design of the broken sword quite a lot. And I was actually going to include that on the list because that one is actually capable of doing some pretty cool stuff as well.
Yeah, well, technically it's a key, right?
Yeah, it fits into that piece. But also, like, people have been able to also, like, conjure essentially like a dragon, like a spirit dragon out of the end of that blade. There have been powers that have been able to be kind of channeled through that blade hilt and turned into something more. But at the same time, it is broken and it is essentially a key. It is not really like a weapon per se. It's definitely used like one. But this to me is like, this is Meliodas' sacred treasure. This is his weapon. You know what I mean?
But it's still a one-trick pony weapon.
The one-trick pony isn't even what bugs me about it. It's just the fact that, like, the real OP power lies within him, and that if I were to pick that up, you would just have fucking 7 fat anime nerds in the room, and that's it. That's it.
That's it.
That's what this thing is capable of doing. You know what I mean? So, like, fuck, I don't know, man. But it's also the main character's main weapon.
Yeah, so it kind of follows like the Rorunen, like right, like formula.
Yeah, okay.
Right, so B tier.
We'll keep it in B.
Yeah, B tier.
Okay, yeah. I'm okay with that. Okay.
All right, let's do the other one.
Well, that's
Escanor's.
That follows up with something that isn't really at all the same.
No,
because don't get me wrong, this is definitely dependent on the wielder, but this thing is capable of some crazy shit on its own.
Yes. Wait, I can't remember. Did you finish all of
I'm not completely finished.
God, Jay!
He's mad, guys. He's mad. But I mean, so one of the big things here is where it is dependent on Escanor, of course, is that a lot of the time this axe is storing his heat.
Yes.
Right. This is absorbing the sun-like energy basically that Escanor is able to give off, and he's then able to wield that power through the axe, right?
It's actually much more than that. And if I tell you anything more than that, it's going to spoil shit for you in the end. So do I go there?
I mean, so
for you people who have actually watched it all the way through, you guys know exactly what I'm talking about.
So the only other thing I know about this axe, other than the fact that it's just an incredibly powerful weapon. Anybody that can actually wield this thing has a hell of a weapon on their hands. Of course, it is very dependent on Escanor's power, basically being absorbed into it. It is his sacred treasure.
Yes.
Okay. So again, I'm going to give this, full credit the same way we did Tetsaiga, the same way we did the shield. We're judging it in the hands of Escanor. Okay.
Yes.
The only other thing I know it's capable of doing is giving him his daytime form at night.
Yes.
Okay. Which is Escanor's major downfall as a character. Okay. So if his weapon is capable of basically erasing that, then this is one of the most OP tools I've ever seen in an anime. It literally takes his one weakness away.
Yes, it's also very much so something much more powerful
than it
seems.
Okay.
So I would put this in an S tier level.
You think this weapon is S tier?
Absolutely S tier.
Okay.
With the amount of power, there is a few drawbacks on it, right? for sure, but it's only because Escanor is human
Right.
and can't actually fully wield it.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. Is this a goddess weapon?
It is
It's from heaven?
pretty
Yeah.
much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah.
That checks out.
That's
Okay.
that's an S tier weapon.
Yeah. So if Escanor was like a god or a goddess or an angel, he could wield it to its full potential.
Yes.
The same way like Meliodas is like half demon, right? Like,
God, I just want to tell you.
yeah, don't. Let's move on.
Okay.
Guys, go watch Seven Deadly Sins. That show's fucking sick. I know I'm gonna go watch it because I'm like, I'm very fired up on Seven Deadly Sins right now, and I wanna finish it. So I'm gonna do
Yes.
that.
Okay, moving
Also,
on.
I apologize for any audio listeners that I keep turning my head to look at the screen, and if my voice keeps doing this, I'm really sorry.
I'll try to fix it in post, but I probably won't.
My apologies. I'll work on that next time. Okay, final three. Final three. Let's talk about Shinobu from Demon Slayer. This was a pick that I came up with just because I wanted to touch on the Nichiren swords from Demon Slayer because I think they're so cool.
Well, they're also, it's very poignant now because it's the Swordsmith arc.
Absolutely, and they're literally talking every episode about how important their swords are to what they do. And to me, a lot of them seemed like, oh, okay, they're all just elemental forms that kind of match whatever Hashira is wielding them, and that's about it. They'll bring out their elemental powers, and otherwise they're just really good at cutting, right?
But this one, no.
They couldn't. They broke the formula on Shinobu's blade. She's the insect Hashira.
Yes. So what with Shinobu too, though, is that it's not like she can conjure up fire or water cutting or breathing or whatever.
She's the insect Hashira. It's not like she can conjure up insects.
Yeah, she stings you with it.
Essentially,
right? It doesn't actually cut you.
It's infused with venom, basically. Yeah, and all she has to do is basically prick you with it.
Yeah.
And her knowledge of venoms and poisons basically does the rest of the work for you. So much so that they have actually removed the majority of her blade. So if you guys Google this and actually take a close look at her sword, it might be easy to miss. If you missed the scene where they talk about it, or if you miss watching her when she dances around, but she's missing the majority of the cutting edge.
I don't know how you guys would have missed this. So many people cosplay her.
True.
So many people cosplay her.
But at the same time, like, they never really super zero in on her blade, except for one time.
Yeah, but the other thing, though, is that Demon Slayer is so iconic at this point, and so,
People should know.
People should know.
But I guarantee, like, it's something like Jordy would miss. You know what I mean? Like, it's...
Jordy... Fuck you, Jordy.
I didn't say fuck you, Jordy. I love you.
I love you too, buddy. But yeah, so
the whole point though is what I'm making is that they flipped the script on basically every other Demon Slayer or Hashira on the entire show whose main goal is to behead. This thing isn't even capable of doing that.
Yeah.
It can't, even if she wanted to, she couldn't fight like the other Hashira. Which I appreciated that so much, that they made a sword that really felt like her. The way that she just floats in like a butterfly and lands, you know what I mean?
Stings like a bee.
And that's what her sword does. It just kind of floats in and it'll just touch you. You know what I mean? It's not violent. It's not abrasive. It's not aggressive. It's like her. You know what I mean? Like a butterfly, basically. And I just think it's so poignant. And to me, I mean, Rengoku's sword,
right behind you,
me, is pretty fucking spectacular and pretty iconic. But when I think the first sword my brain goes to when I think of Demon Slayer swords, the first one is Shinobu's, man.
What?
Yeah, dude.
No.
Which one does your brain go to?
Rengoku's.
Really?
Yeah, that and Tanjiro's, because I like the mystique around the black blade. Right.
It's just black. It's got a wheel hilt. It's boring, dude.
Like, aesthetically, it's boring.
Yeah,
yes,
exactly.
but it has
talking
idea of maybe it's. So this is my theory. Granted, people, if you have read the manga, I have not. My theory is that he is so powerful. He has a black blade, and people who also had the black blade couldn't bring out that same power, but they had the potential. But Tanjiro is probably actually able to. But
Right.
anyway, that being said,
It's boring as fuck. I like Inosuke's swords better than Tanjiro's.
actually, I do really like
The serrated blades is cool as
especially
fuck.
when he got new ones and he started going at it with the rocks.
The rocks, yeah.
But for her though, like her blade, I would probably put in C tier. Because on its own, like it's not like a magical, fantastical blade. She has to apply the poison from her own poison knowledge, right? So if you have it by yourself, it's not really going to do much.
Do you know that for sure, that she has to apply the poison herself?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they even state that in the anime, because she's like, "Oh, I do this because I know that I have a sharp point that I can just right into a demon."
Okay.
Yeah. So.
But like, so I'm just thinking in terms of like, if I was wielding this sword,
Yeah.
right? I just have to do a quick Google search on like super toxic venoms from different animals.
Yeah, while you're doing that, I'm gonna take fucking Rengoku sword.
Coat the blade.
Yeah.
And then all I have to do is get a little fucking stick on you. It doesn't even need to be classy.
It is a C tier weapon. At best.
All right, in that case, I will leave it in B. I would want to give this A.
There's no way A. I will concede to B.
I think within its world, it's B tier, and I think iconic status puts it at A.
No, I think I'll give it a B.
Okay.
I'll concede to B, but it is no way a fucking A tier weapon. No
Okay.
fucking way.
I think all the Hashiras and Nichiren swords would be A.
No.
I do.
Yeah. No, because again, it comes back down to the wielder. But at the end of the day, I know we didn't want to talk about Satai, whatever, right? But I'm just saying, this particular one that is so close to an actual katana, because it actually is a katana, right? Is just the katana if you take away everything else.
I would argue that all of the Nichiren swords are that. Because if you think you could pick up Rengoku's sword and make fire come out of it,
okay,
right now, on the spot,
yes,
then you're fucking delusional, dude.
So that
Whereas I could put poison on that blade very easily right now.
But this proves my point. It's a B tier. I could put poison on fucking Rengoku's sword.
And then it's no longer Rengoku's sword because that never happens.
Exactly. But I could still do it theoretically.
No. Agree to disagree. You're wrong. B tier, I guess.
Yeah.
All right, asshole. You can talk your way out of this fucking choice.
There's. I don't need to. This is fucking Excalibur.
Mans picks our mascot, basically, from Soul Eater. Yeah. We've got Excalibur, the most annoying fucking character. Does anybody even wield him?
No. So this is the thing. You can wield him.
Okay. Well, we're just gonna.
No, not even fucking close.
Talk your way out of it.
Not even fucking close.
I'm open.
He is an S tier weapon. He is hands down an S tier weapon. The only reason people don't wield him is because they find him fucking annoying.
Right.
But as far as power levels go, he can do just about fucking anything. He even takes on this weird white, like, spy versus spy form. Right? like he is also standed the test of time, right? Like spoiler alert, like he's in Fire Force, right? Like he is an S tier weapon by himself because he's even his own fucking character.
But like, do you ever see him do anything S tier?
No, but it's all implied.
Okay, so we're gonna give an implied S tier. Should I make another category IS? Implied S? Because the implications are that he could be S tier?
No, it's implied as in it is factual based within the and recognized within its own series.
Okay, so we're gonna give this an A as a compromise.
Okay, fine.
Because I don't think he deserves S tier. When he literally never does anything.
But it's not about him doing anything. It's about him as a weapon.
What he could do.
And he is the only weapon who is his own character so far.
Well, no.
Oh, I mean, okay, yes, I guess, yeah, Sanketsu. But
also Tetsaiga has consciousness.
But not in the same charismatic way as Excalibur.
Well, nobody is the same as Excalibur. No. Listen, I'm not hating on Excalibur. He's our boy. He's our mascot, and he's iconic to us. I just like the fact that he's not a factor really when you're looking at weapons. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like Ragnarok. Would be a weapon that I would put almost above Excalibur because you actually see Ragnarok do shit. You know what I mean? Like, fucking
He's so powerful.
Soul, I would put almost above Excalibur for iconic status. Because
I don't know, man, because he's technically the mascot of the whole thing.
Soul's the main character of the show, dude.
Yeah, but the mascot of an anime is usually also more well known than, or just as well known as the main character.
I am not going to sit here and accept that you think Excalibur is more popular of a character than Soul.
Okay, I'm not saying that he is. I'm just saying that he is still just well known.
He is.
But
Soul and Maka are the two main characters of Soul Eater.
I'm not arguing that.
Okay, I'm just making sure. Because it sounded like you were.
But I'm just saying that he's the mascot, and it brings more iconic status to him.
He's our mascot more than he's Soul Eater's mascot.
But at the same time, he is so powerful that nobody has been worthy enough to actually wield him because they don't have the patience to.
That's not worthiness. That's patience.
That is also worthiness.
No.
Patience is a virtue.
He's just annoying because he can be. There's nothing worthy going on there. That's what he is. All right.
Okay.
Final one. We left the best for last.
We saved the best for last.
Because I think this is the most iconic sword in anime history. Full stop.
Yes.
And that's the Dragon Slayer sword. Wielded by Gatsu.
So the cool thing about this one
from Berserk, for anyone who doesn't know. You should know.
Because it's peak. Berserk sword, the Dragon Slayer sword, is not only just iconic from Berserk, but it is essentially what has influenced every single massive sword that's come out after. You know what I mean? Like
the whole idea of oversized swords in anime comes from the Dragon Slayer sword,
right? Like I mean, even Cloud's Buster sword, right? Like it's
100%.
all based off of like, hey, let's make a huge ass fucking sword.
Yep. Pretty much the Monster Hunter games, guys. If you guys are like me and big fans of those games, the great sword in that is literally just the fucking Dragon Slayer sword.
Yeah, because what's the actual like scale? The real scale of this sword is like 6 feet something.
The actual height of the sword? I thought it was like an 8-foot sword.
Oh, okay, even bigger.
Yeah.
Right? Like, because Guts himself is
taller
like,
than Guts.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's right. He's taller than Guts, and Guts is like 6 something.
Yeah, it's taller than him though.
Right, and so, but the hard part, as far as like putting this in a tier, the sword itself is fucking useless unless you can actually wield it.
Yeah, and we've given that a pass for a lot of these things, right?
Yeah.
So like I'm willing to give it a pass itself. You know, like I think we're talking about what we've seen it capable of doing in Guts' hands.
Yeah.
And this is kind of important because a lot of the supernatural stuff that Guts is able to do, and a lot of the non-human powers that Guts is able to kind of channel throughout the series. That's his channeling stick, basically, is the Dragon Slayer sword. I mean, that's his weapon. That's his tool. Like we were saying, a weapon is a tool for a means to an end, and that is how Guts accomplishes his means to an end. But it also was able to wound and hurt godlike level beings within the world of Berserk. So,
and especially when he goes into the fucking full like dark armor form,
like within the world itself, like it's absolutely S tier. I mean, nothing has been able to touch this thing, even gods.
Yeah, and like it's indestructible, even though there's like chips in it and stuff. Right, like, but at the end of the day, there is nothing in that world that can go up against this and Guts.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And I mean, it is ultimately, a sword, but, and nothing really magical inherent to it. But even before Guts was, fighting gods and fighting demons and doing all this magical shit, the thing was just a scary piece of iron that would just be like slicing multiple people it's a fucking force.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
Like how
even
the Claymore can fucking chop a horse, this can chop a horse and then some.
Well, it's called the Dragon Slayer for a reason.
Exactly.
It was designed to be able to slay a dragon.
Yes, exactly.
So yeah, it's most powerful in Guts' hands, but I think anybody strong enough to wield it, it's an S tier weapon in that world.
Yeah, like for example, even Zod could wield it, no problem.
And in Zod's hands, it's S tier.
S tier. Yeah.
In an unnamed giant strong man in the Berserk world that I just created in my head, holding that sword is an S tier threat, in my opinion.
Yeah.
That's how fucking crazy this sword is and how big it is.
Yeah. Actually, there's a dude online right now, I think on YouTube. He's been training to actually
wield it. Yeah,
you seen that guy?
Yeah.
Yeah, he like ups the weight of it and like all these different like I guess weight points too or whatever.
Yep. And there would definitely be a way to wield it, but it would just be utilizing the momentum as much as you can, because otherwise it'd just rip your arms off probably.
Yeah, unless you're Guts.
Right. Guts always wins.
Guts always wins.
And Guts wins the day, going S tier, leaving us with a pretty interesting spread at the end of this. So S tier, we've got Tetsaiga, we've got fucking, what's his name again?
Zangetsu.
Zangetsu. We have the Divine Axe Rita, and we have the Dragon Slayer sword, wielded by Guts. A tier, Scissor Blade. We have the Quinki.
I think it's Quinki
From Tokyo Ghoul.
Yeah.
Tenseiga from Inuyasha. We have the
Ma Baby, the Rickenbacker.
The Rickenbacker from Fooly Cooly. We got the Shield from Rising of the Shield Hero. And
Excalibur.
our asshole friend Excalibur from Soul Eater in A tier. Yeah. That's a good round of A tier, I think. Yeah. B tier, we got Kenshin's Blade, the Reverse Blade Katana. Lost Vein from Meliodas, and Shinobu's Nichiren. C tier.
Oh, C tier is from Durara.
That's the Psycho Blade?
The Psycho Blade?
Psycho Blade.
Yeah, Psycho Blade.
Our lone C tier entry.
Yeah.
Because it just makes slaves. And then D tier, we got a fucking yo-yo and a sword that just keeps breaking. It's a pretty hilarious D tier, I have to say. But this is it for now.
That's it.
I think this one will be interesting to revisit, because I'm hoping people will have some suggestions in our comments, and maybe we can keep this list and add to it.
Add to it. Just keep adding to it.
We'll just keep adding to it, and we'll just see what we can get. And maybe we'll have to move some stuff around too, because if you guys convince us in the comments, then there's always the potential we could be convinced. But I'm pretty happy with this right now. I like it.
The only thing that you will convince me of is that Excalibur is S tier.
Okay. Honestly, if Excalibur was an S tier right now and I looked at that S tier, he's the only one I'd have an issue with. The other four, I think, deserve it. Yeah. But that was fun, dude.
That was fun.
And it was long.
I know.
So thank you for staying with us. My gosh. We can talk, eh?
Yeah, well, yeah.
Dude, we can really shoot the shit.
Well, I mean, I love weapons. And that's the thing. Like, if I could just pick so many more weapons out of my head just right now. But yeah. Thanks, guys, for joining. Jay, where can people find you?
Find me at hanger.91 on Instagram or hanger91.bigcartel.com.
Yes, you guys can find me at Shmanime Pod on Instagram and TikTok, mainly on TikTok. Come join the Discord. Sometimes we're there. Actually, I'm there all the time.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's fun.
And Anime North, like we said.
Yes.
Get your tickets and come see us and come hang out with us, because, Jordy and I are going to be there, and Mikey will be there in spirit.
Yes. Also, if you want to give Jordy a little purple nurple, crossing boundaries.
That's on him.
I'm just kidding. All right,
please don't touch Jordy when you see him.
Don't do that. Don't do that. He's got a weird thing about his nipples.
Oh, that's fucking hilarious.
Okay. Love you guys. Bye.
See ya.